Before we begin, take a moment. Slow your breathing. Let your shoulders drop. Let the noise around you settle. Because higher consciousness doesn't announce itself loudly. It doesn't interrupt your life. It doesn't demand attention. It arrives quietly, almost politely. Now let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like something inside you is waking up, and the world you used to fit into no longer does? Not in a dramatic way, not in a way you can easily explain, just a subtle sense that something has shifted. You still show up, you still function, you still meet your responsibilities, but the way you experience life has changed. The conversations that once felt normal now feel strangely hollow. The goals you used to chase don't carry the same charge, even when everything looks fine on the outside. There's a quiet inner awareness that you've outgrown something. And what's unsettling is that you can't quite name what it is. If you felt this, you're not imagining it. According to Edgar Cayce, there are moments in a soul's development when consciousness begins to reorganize itself. Not suddenly, not with visions or signs, but gradually, internally, persistently. This isn't about becoming spiritual, it's not about escaping the world, and it's not about being above anyone else. Cayce described higher consciousness as responsibility awakening within the soul, a call to live with greater awareness, greater integrity, and greater alignment between who you are inside and how you move through the world. Today we're exploring the signs that this awakening may already be unfolding within you. And stay with me through the final sign, because Cayce said that one marks the difference between spiritual curiosity and spiritual calling. Sign 1. Inner authority begins to override outer authority. One of the earliest signs of higher consciousness awakening is subtle. You stop needing permission, not in a confrontational way, not in a rebellious way. You simply begin to trust your own inner knowing. Advice still matters, opinions still matter, but they no longer override your internal compass. You listen, you consider, and then something inside you says, this feels right, or this doesn't. Cayce taught that as consciousness becomes more attuned, guidance begins to rise from within rather than being imposed from without. In everyday life, this can look like hesitating before saying yes automatically. It can look like declining paths that look good on paper but feel hollow inside. It can look like choosing peace over explanation. And at first, this can feel uncomfortable. You may second-guess yourself. You may wonder if you're becoming difficult or too independent. But higher consciousness doesn't make you rigid. It makes you aligned. You begin acting from inner authority rather than external pressure. And once this shift begins, it doesn't shut off. Sign 2. Old identities start to feel too small. Another sign is a growing discomfort with roles and labels that once defined you. You may still perform them well, you may still succeed, but something feels constrained. Your career identity, your social identity, even belief systems that once gave you certainty start to feel limiting. Cayce explained that growth often begins as dissatisfaction. Not dissatisfaction with life itself, but with containment. The soul presses outward against structures that no longer match its level of awareness. In real life, this might look like restlessness without a clear cause. It may look like questioning paths you once assumed were permanent. It may look like realizing you've changed before the world around you has. This is not failure, it's not confusion, it's not regression, it's expansion. You're not losing direction, you're shedding an old skin. Sign 3. Heightened sensitivity without fragility. As consciousness expands, sensitivity increases, but not weakness. You begin noticing subtleties, emotional shifts, unspoken tension, energetic undercurrents. Crowded spaces may affect you differently. Certain conversations may exhaust you. Chaotic environments may feel jarring. Cayce described sensitivity as refinement. The nervous system becomes a more precise instrument. In everyday life, this may look like needing fewer distractions. It may look like becoming more selective about where you place your attention. It may look like realizing that peace is no longer optional for you. And here's what this is not. This is not emotional instability. It's not fragility. It's not withdrawal from life. You're not breaking down. You're tuning in. Sensitivity becomes guidance. Sign 4. A pull toward service without a savior complex. At some point, attention begins to shift. Not away from yourself, but beyond yourself. You feel a quiet pull to be useful, not admired, not praised, not elevated, simply helpful. Cayce taught that service is the natural expression of awakened consciousness, not obligation, not sacrifice, overflow. In everyday terms, this may look like listening more deeply without needing to fix. It may look like offering support without needing recognition. It may look like wanting your presence to stabilize rather than impress. This is not martyrdom. It's not burnout. It's not self-erasure. Higher consciousness doesn't inflate the ego, it softens it. Sign 5. Discomfort with untruth. Once awareness deepens, dishonesty becomes uncomfortable. Not just lies, but misalignment. Saying yes when you mean no. Staying silent when integrity asks you to speak. Living in ways that contradict your knowing. Cayce emphasized that harmony between soul and action is essential for growth. When that harmony breaks, the soul signals it. In daily life, this may show up as fatigue in situations that require you to pretend. It may show up as an inability to compromise your values for comfort. This doesn't make you judgmental, it makes you honest. And honesty, at this stage, is not negotiable. Sign 6. Solitude feels nourishing, not lonely. As consciousness matures, your relationship with solitude changes. Silence becomes restorative. Stillness becomes instructive. You're not withdrawing from life, you're integrating it. Cayce spoke often about stillness as the space where higher awareness registers. Not empty silence, living silence. In everyday life, this may look like craving quiet without guilt. It may look like turning inward to recalibrate. It may look like realizing you don't need constant input to feel alive. This is not isolation, it's integration. Sign 7. The quiet call. The one you stayed for. At some point, a quiet responsibility settles in. Not fear, not urgency. Just knowing. You sense that how you live matters. Your thoughts matter. Your integrity matters. Your choices matter. Not because you're being watched, but because you're aware. Cayce taught that souls awaken during periods of transition to help stabilize consciousness, not through force, through example. This is the moment when awakening becomes responsibility, and once this awareness arrives, it doesn't leave. If you recognized yourself in these signs, you're not broken, you're not lost, you're not late, you're responding. Higher consciousness isn't about escaping life, it's about meeting it with clarity, integrity, and awareness. If this resonated, and you feel that quiet shift too, subscribe to Mystic Podcast Cruise. This channel is for those who sense there's more and are ready to live with awareness. And if this video helped you name something you've been feeling, let us know in the comments. And this space exists for those who feel that quiet call and want to understand it clearly, grounded, and without fear. Stay connected, there's more to unfold.